The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high. I wonder when it goes now, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party. The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high. I wonder when it goes now, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable. And stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to those in television land. Happy Friday to all our silent supporters. Happy Friday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope everyone had a wonderful and productive week and looking forward to a wonderful and restful weekend. Remember, guys, when you come in, thumbs up the live. Please just give us that thumbs up. Share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. And remember, guys, the membership is still open. So that is extra support for the channel, and that would be greatly appreciated. Tonight's topic is contrast between Jlpism and Pnpism with your host, Byron and Anne-Marie. And before we go into the topic, please remember to go over and support Disney Magazine at maxter.com/p/Daisy. All right, let me just welcome those in the chat. Don Mel, Teacher P, Beverly, Patel Cruikshank, Yvonne Johnson, Doris McCoy, Larry Beckford, thank you so much for your undaunting work that you do in the chat. Larry, and encouraging people to just thumbs up the live each time they come in. Really appreciate that. Truck Life, Andrew, Sam Allen, Tyreek, Uriel, Dharma, Fitzroy, Palmer, Carol Hewitt, Rosalie Ricketts, bless up again, Teacher P, Jamotive One Music, Paulette Robinson, Jeanette Letts, Carol Hewitt, Louis Longshaw, I think I said it already, Beverly Edwards, Librance Tucker, Una Vassel, Winnie Mead, Candy Max, one of our channel supporters, bless up Candy Max, Casita Johnson, Brittany L, Owen Bernard, welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Without any delay, I'm going to hand over to Baron and get some housekeeping done.
All right. Thank you, Annie, for that. As always, wonderful in terms of, you know, welcoming, of course, our subscribers and, you know, our listeners, right, both locally and in the diaspora.
Sorry, one sec. Welcome, Reggae Girl. Don Mel is saying that the video is not good on his side. Let me see if I can switch the band because that one is the reading a bit low.
Okay, all right.
We had a lot of snow today and it's been overcast. I'm not sure. And plus they're doing some work on the roadway with the cables. I'm not sure if that is part of the problem.
All right, let us get that adjusted.
It's on the correct one.
Okay, so
change it to the 5G and see and take it off the router.
So they can
one sec. All right, it's back. Still looking.
How was it? All right, is okay. So are they still having the fuzziness where that is concerned? Anyway, we are going to start in our program, right? And tonight we are going to, of course, focus on the Prime Minister style of politics, right? Which is definitely dinosaurial politics that the Prime Minister is exhibiting, and where the Prime Minister is now speaking that, you know, the PNP is practicing Pnpism. So that is a situation that we are going to discuss tonight. And I'm going to speak specifically to Andrew Holness as it relates to what we call the betrayal of trust, knowing to the fact that Andrew Holness led his campaign in 2015 and successfully, right, be the victor 2016, right? He made a lot of promises, right, and asked the Jamaican people to trust him, and which, of course, they did, put Andrew Holness at the helm of our politics. However, today, as we see, right, we have a poll, a Dan Anderson poll, that is talking about the favorability of the Jamaican people, right, based on, right, the current situation as it relates to the Prime Minister, right, and Mark Golden, where the favorability lies between both of them. And of course, we have seen where Mark Golden, right, leading the Prime Minister, Mark Golden 39 and the opposition 30% with that 9% advantage lead. It is saying something significant that the Prime Minister had betrayed the trust of the Jamaican people. And thus speaking, the Jamaican people now desire rapid change and really want change right now. And so then we are going to break down tonight the difference between what Andrew Holness, you know, trying to play the crafty politics, the dinosaurial politics, you know, the whole politics style in terms of lying and trying to be, trickified, right? In terms of identifying the People's National Party as Pnpism. And so then what Mystic Sensation had done is to take the Prime Minister's definition in consideration as it relates to Pnpism, right? And did my research, right? And now define Jlpism. So we are going to speak as it relates to Pnpism, and we are going to speak as it relates to Jlpism. Now, the thing is, what we are going to bring out the facts as it relates to Pnpism, right? And as it relates to Jlpism. Now, so Pnpism, right, as it relates to what Andrew Holness defined, right? We know that Pnpism tied to democratic socialism, while the Jamaica Labour Party, Jlpism, tied to what we call crony capitalism. And so then we are going to show the evidence of that, right? Now, without any delay, my people, let us get into Andrew Holness' clip as he doubled down in his dirty politics, right? And try to be conniving, right? Practicing the dinosaurial politics, right? So let us tune in where that is concerned. Without any delay, honey, let us bring up that clip. Andrew Holness speaking of Pnpism, right? Let us bring up that clip, right? And so then, people, let us hear what Andrew Holness is defined as Pnpism, because we are getting into that tonight. You know, we want to clarify certain things tonight and edify our people accordingly. All right. So let us. You understand? Display that. Where Andrew Holness is defining Pnpism.
Peaceful man, progressive man, where no crime, no death, people live good and neighborly with each other. But now we see a certain type of crime emerging, a kind of crime that I can only say, boy, this look like Pnpism. It just look like Pnpism, and it's not me said so. Is them come out and defend it? Is them come out and defend it? Them see certain crimes going on in this community, and then them come out and defend that kind of crime. Pnpism. Pnpism. Now, we as a government will never give any form of protection, succor, coverage to any criminality, criminal or criminal behavior. Nobody from my political party must come out and speak in support of any criminal, criminality or criminal behavior. And I want to make that absolutely clear, because that is the difference between us and them. They are not like us. They use whatever happens in the society, even if it is criminal, for their political benefit. And that, my friends, is Pnpism. They embrace even criminality to make their political point for political benefit. And that is how Pnpism has destroyed our society. And it is threatening to do so again, because we see their embrace of criminality, their defense of criminality. And that is why, my friends, they resist the states of public emergency, because they are bent on defending and protecting criminality.
Now, Jamaican people, did we just heard that? What the Prime Minister stated in terms of defining Pnpism? It's quite shocking. Quite shocking. Now, I am going to make certain things very clear for the Prime Minister. As the Prime Minister defined Pnpism in his sort of the way we phrase the politics, right? As it relates to a different type of crime emerging. A type of crime emerging that looks like Pnpism. He said, my party must not give any support to any criminals. Now, let me break that down for you, Prime Minister. Let me just sort of fund that. Let me repeat that. The Prime Minister, let me quote, open quote, my party must not give any support to any criminal. Now, I want to ask a question, Andrew Holness. And I want to find out if your party is aligned as it relates to Patrick Bailey. Patrick Bailey, where a crime of number 3 or a felony of number 3 committed in his home, where Jeremy had received over 21 stab wounds and a bullet put to his head. We have seen here today as we speak, Patrick Bailey is still out there. Patrick Bailey is still out there. We understand the nature of the crime. We understand that this man died in Patrick Bailey's home, and there was no form of intrusion, right? No form of intrusion. Your administration, as how you define Pnpism, my party must not give any support to any criminal. So, okay. So I highlighted Patrick Bailey. I don't finish with you yet, Prime Minister. I am just heating up here. Let me ask you a question, Prime Minister. I'm going to ask you a question. Now, when you see the Jamaican people moving away from you, this is the reason why the Jamaican people are moving away from you. The Jamaican people know that you're a deceiver, right? You are Beelzebub. You are Prince of the Morning. You are Satan. All of the above. And why? Let me explain this to you. We have seen $470 million, Andrew Holness, utilized through 3 companies of yours. Estate Bridge, Imperium, right? And another company of yours. $470 million between 2020 and 2023. You're not going to escape. We are going to keep this fire burning. No distractions. No distractions will avoid us. You understand? From not defining Jlpism. So we are going to define Jlpism. Right? As you claim that you are defining Pnpism. And so then, we also look at your 2020 statutory declaration and realize that you have lied on your statutory declaration as it relates to your 2020 statutory declaration, showing you $172 million in total assets. But let me speak to you as it relates to what you need to consider, because what I want to show the Jamaican people right now, and I want them to listen to me keenly. So when you show in your 2020 statutory declaration, since you are defining Pnpism, that in 2020, your statutory declaration, your total asset is $172 million. Now let us look at the duration period in terms of when you amassed that wealth. Remember that you came into the politics 1997 And I want people to share out this. You came into the politics 1997, right, to 2020, which is going to, capture roughly about 24 years. So then, if you took 24 years, right, to amass $172 million as it relates to your statutory declaration 2020, Mystic Sensation is asking you now, you would have now taken 3 years from 2020 to 2023, running $470 million to various accounts, right, utilizing through 3 of your entities. You explain to the Jamaican people, Mr. Holness, I want you to explain to the Jamaican people, right, why it takes you, right, 24 years from 1997 to 2020 to amass 172 million. However, as it relates to the Integrity Commission investigation, it takes you right from 2020 to 2023 to amass another $470 million. So one, right where you have $72 million from 1997 to 2020, right? It takes you 24 years to have $174 million. I am here for you tonight, well prepared. Since you're talking about Pnpism, it took you, Andrew Holness, 24 years to amass 172 million. However, where the Integrity Commission investigators are looking on as it relates to 2020 to 2023, right? It took you 3 years to amass $470 million. Come on, Jones. You need to come and explain to Jamaican people you're out there talking about Pnpism. Finish with you tonight, I am juggling down. So you need to consider that and let me leave that out there for FID to look into that as why it took the Prime Minister 24 years to amass $172 million, right, as it relates to his 2020 statutory declaration, and it took him 3 years from 2020 to 2023 to amass $470 million. Now, let me put the icing on the cake for you, Andrew Holness. Between the period 2020 to 2023, we all know that that's the pandemic period. Yes, Andrew Holness. Yes, Mr. Holness. That was the pandemic period where globally, right, business, right, majority of the businesses did not make any profit. What? Let me ask you the question, and I want FID to follow my track. What sort of business investment? Let me come to you now, Andrew Holness. What sort of business investment that you would have done in SSL between 2020 to 2023 that you would have gotten return on your investment? So, FID, I want you to listen to me. What you need to investigate, FID, right, between 2020 and 2023, right? What sort of business that the Prime Minister aligned with that would have given him return on his investment? Now, Prime Minister, let me repeat what you have said. You said, my party must not give any support to any criminal. So then, let me ask you a question, Andrew Holness. Are you saying to the Jamaican people that you're totally oblivious that you cross-carry, right, participated in the 1995 financial meltdown? You didn't know? You have no awareness? This is what you're telling Jamaican people. You said your party must not give any support to any criminals. So then let me ask you, you did not aware that you cross-carry along with Paul Cheng Young, right? Even when the court ordered Paul Cheng Young not to do anything with his assets, Paul Cheng Young went, right, after the court ordered him not to interfere with those assets 4 days after, right, as according to the court document, Paul Cheng Young, right, had given you cross-carry, released roughly about 19 properties to you cross-carry for you cross-carry to hide those properties. Now, Andrew Owens, Adler Shaw, Nigel Clark, yes, none of you guys, you didn't know it. You were totally oblivious. You were incognizant of the fact that you cross-carry involved with these issues. Then let me ask you now, Andrew Owens, why did you become a part of SSL, having a profile account in SSL? Having that information and having that level of awareness, why would you have done it? Now we can understand why the FSC would have flagged SSL and while your administration playing blind as it relates to Nigel Clark, right, deny that he had gotten the report because Nigel Clark is there to cover you. That's why we show the evidence on this channel where Nigel Clark was a director in your Positive Jamaica Foundation, right? Yes, before he entered into politics. So we know that you paved the way, right, for Nigel Clark to come into politics, and you make sure that you place him in the Minister of Finance. For what? To protect you and your wrongdoing. So let us calm down now that we are, trying to define, Jlpism, right? Let us calm down and proceed into future clips, right? Stand by, my people. Now let us go to the disrespect. The disrespect to the People's National Party. The disrespect to the political philosophy that the People's National Party have practiced over the many years, which is democratic socialism. Andrew Owens, let me ask you a question. Do you know the definition as it relates to democratic socialism and what democratic socialism stands for? What does it mean? Well, let me help you with that, because you are acting totally contrary to democratic socialism and you are exhibiting what we call crony capitalism. Well, democratic socialism is where democratic socialism, right, making sure that they observe each individual in a society, right, to deal with them, right, fair, with transparency and balance, and so then everyone can be dealt with equally. Everyone, you understand, can be given equal opportunity, right? And everyone can become a stakeholder as it relates to the opportunity, right, into the economy. And so then Michael Mann, right, emphasize on education. It is through the process of education, right, that we are going to gain our wealth. We are going to gain our knowledge. And so then, right, this is what now you want to define as criminal, right, as it relates to Pnpism, right? So let us play the next clip and just give you another tips of reminder, right? Without any delay on it, let us find ways we benefit, right? Okay. Let us look at this, my Jamaican people.
Still benefit us today. Let's dive in. First, the National Housing Trust Manley's vision to make home ownership accessible for working Jamaicans. Today, thousands rely on the NHT to achieve their dreams of owning a home. Then workers' rights. Thanks to Manley, minimum wage laws and paid maternity leave protect Jamaican workers every day. Education reform. He championed free primary and secondary education, giving every child a fair chance at success. The Jamal Foundation. Manley fought adult illiteracy, giving Jamaicans essential skills and opportunities. And his biggest legacy? CARICOM. Manley's vision for a united Caribbean became this powerful regional community, fostering trade, support, and strength across the islands. Michael Manley's impact goes beyond his time. His legacy is still a part of Jamaican life today. Did the government parties of today destroy his vision?
No. When we look on that, right? Now that is an independent summary, an independent brief summary, right, from someone outside of the politics of Jamaica, speaking the truth, right, as it relates to what is documented in our history, what has been recorded in our history, what has been not only recorded, but recognized and acknowledged, right, by international entity. So then, Michael Manley love for his people as it relates to democratic socialism that Andrew Holness want to identify as Pnpism. NHT, the National Housing Trust, the vision of Michael Manley, believing that it is important, it is empirically important that an individual must own a home. And when a roof is over that person's head, that is going to make that person comfortable, right? Now, this is what we have seen you are trying to do when you try to destroy the NHT. You had taken money out of the NHT. Yes, let me remind you, Andrew Holness, you had taken money out of the NHT, both you and Nigel Clark, and you had given it to your friend DISCAIMER. Yes. And just imagine, when we talk about millions of contributors who had been contributed to NHT from God he knows when, and cannot get a home. But it was so easy for you, right, to look on the NHT that created by Pnpism, and you try to destroy. Today, NHT is out of the capacity to really push forward homes for the persons who Michael Manley wanted to get their homes, the contributors who have been contributing to NHT. Now, what you have shaped the NHT into, right, is above now those people, right? Those people cannot afford an NHT home. This is what you have done, right? In terms of wanting to destroy Pnpism. Pnpism had created the workers' rights. Yes. 40 hours work week. And over that, any hours over that should go into extra time. Michael Manley, Pnpism, had done that. Michael Manley had created Jamal, adult literacy, so that persons who had abandoned, persons who did not make it, can have a chance to go back to Jamal and learn how to read and write. JLP did not do that. Jlpism did not do that. It is Pnpism that had done that. Michael Manley, through Pnpism, democratic socialism, these would come to foster trade amongst the Caribbean people. Jlpism did not do that. It is Pnpism through democratic socialism. So we want to teach you a lesson tonight. Now, let us go to our next clip. And what I am going to present, my people, as it relates to what we call a KC lawyer speaking the truth in identifying Jlpism. So for the next clip that I'm going to play, Andrew Holness, I want you to look at it because we know that you are following our channel. Yes. And so then, we are going to now define Jlpism to you, Andrew Holness, since you are talking about Pnpism. So then, let me allow a KC lawyer, King Council lawyer, who had done his research. This is a KC lawyer. Now, when we come out and we speak the truth, my Jamaican people, we decide to bring evidence parallel to our statement. And so then people can say, okay, yes, Mystic Sensation is referencing from such document. We don't come out and speak the truth like Andrew, speak the lies like Andrew Holness. When he talk about Pnpism, he has no record, he has no evidence to show, to define his so-called Pnpism. So we now have to define Pnpism to him. So then, let me also define Jlpism. And what I'm going to show, he cannot deny. No JLP member, in terms of what I'm going to show tonight, can deny it. It is the history that surrounds JLP administration from ever since in the starfish days, when Alexander Bustamante said, starfish is better than education. And then this is one of the reasons why we understand why they are behaving like this, right? Because they do believe that, starfish is, better than education. And that's why, right, these people, right, you can win them by the belly syndrome. Yes. You can influence them by the belly syndrome, right? They need a food or they need a beer to drink. And so then, of course, right, you can influence them, right? Because they really, lack, you understand, that sort of, independent thinking, right? They are so myopic, right, in their view. So, of course, you understand, you can, people who follow JLP, right, they are just like that. No disrespect. They are just like that, right? Most of the times their line of argument or their source of argument, most of the time just baseless, without evidence. And they speak off the cuff. They speak from emotions, not necessarily that, right? They are speaking and they have evidence to back up what they're saying. So we know how the JLP situation is. So let me bring forth the evidence that you are talking about. Evidence as it relates to what a KC lawyer is going to present in terms of identifying Jlpism. Without any delay, people, let us look on Jlpism. Honey, without any delay, let us get this.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to identify Jlpism.
Open again. One sec, guys. Let me just bring it back up.
Yes, we are going to identify Jlpism, right, to Andrew Holness. And we would like Andrew Holness or any of his minions, right, to come out, right, and say that we are lying. Are we not speaking the truth when we hold the evidence? When we have the evidence to share? When we have the evidence, right, to mount our case on the basis of evidence and not speaking off the cuff with our emotions? So here we are. K. Churchill Nita, August 1, 2020. And as he said, taking corruption to another level. So now we are defining Jlpism. What is Jlpism? Let us present Jlpism. Now, the present wave of corruption in public office is indeed unprecedented in modern Jamaica. However, corruption is not new to the Jamaica Labour Party as it relates to what defined as Jlpism. The party boasts a well-established tradition of corruption behavior, as JLP ministers of government have presided over wanton robbery of the public purse. And some of them have been convicted and sentenced to serve time in prison. When we brought forward here today, we have $2.3 trillion in debt. However, we have $1.7 trillion unaccounted for. So you understand what the KC lawyer, the King Council lawyer, is talking about. Let us move to the following paragraph. In the 1950s, former JLP Minister of Education, Jose Malcolm, was sentenced to 12 months at hard labor for defrauding his constituents. Malcolm's successor in the Ministry of Education, L.L. Simmons, was next. He was convicted in July 1954 for breaches of the Official Secret Acts and sentenced to 15 months at hard labor when we are talking about Jlpism. In the decade of the 1960s, the former Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Arthur Burt, may well have been the third to face the courts and be sentenced for his role in the corrupt handling of the school building program 1967 to 1971, financed by the World Bank. A report from the Commission of Inquiry established to probe the matter stated that although suggestions of a grave character were made before the commission involving Dr. Burt, guess what he had done, people? He fled the island to avoid appearing before the commission and facing criminal charges. Let me ask something before we go further in this document. What manner of administration who want to move a country forward but robbing from the purse of the country, particularly education? Any society or administration that doesn't believe to enhance education but to rob from the education purse cannot be a party that have good intention for its people. We have seen Andrew Holness in the Ministry of Education awarded several contracts to govern. And of course, follow suit. Rural Reed, who had learned the master of deception from Andrew Holness, had now executed in terms of robbing the Ministry of Education purse. So let me ask the question. If you have an administration who deemed to ensure that our education system is in shambles and unfunded. Our education system has been depleted. Ensure that his administration take 200 and 300% increase. And so for the teachers, the masses of the teachers who are doing the work, right, they get marginal increases. And so what we have today, we have seen the migration of teachers. We are losing our teachers. And if we are losing our teachers, this means, my Jamaican people, we are losing our technocrats. Let us move on. In February 1990, Jlpism, former JLP Minister of Labor, was charged with receiving US $70,000, deemed by the Director of Public Prosecution to have been unlawfully obtained from farm workers' savings. Just imagine people, hard-working Jamaicans, went on farm working program, worked so hard, and saved their farm working money. And Jack Smith in the JLP administration decided that he's going to steal the people's money. So when you have the JLP administration decided to steal both money, it is a long history with them, have no sympathy on the poor, have no sympathy on the weak and lame. So then there is no surprise there that this administration would again, what they had created as it relates to the 1995 financial meltdown, again would have executed their normal pattern of behavior as it relates to Jlpism. He was also charged with conspiracy to defraud. He was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years in prison at hard labor. Sorry, my people. One would have thought that the JLP would want to break with its tradition of corruption, and listening to Prime Minister Onus' lofty pronouncements of integrity at his swearing in, many Jamaicans expected honesty and transparency from the new government. But instead, what we have experienced is an administration that has taken corruption to another level. And when we say another level, one such level that I've never seen before. The country national debt of $2.3 trillion, while $1.7 trillion unaccounted for. Investors who invested into SSL have been robbed, have been lied to, have been tricked out of their wealth. Let us move on. Former JLP Minister of Education, Royal Reid. This is the man who advised the Prime Minister, was hastily removed from office to facilitate a full investigation of reports of corruption, nepotism, and misappropriation of public funds within the ministry, as well as its agencies, including Caribbean Maritime University. But this goes beyond Rural Reid, right? High-level theft. It shows you that the Jamaica Labour Party administration, as it relates to Jlpism, have no care, have no moral compass. Their ethical standards are drawing on the ground, and such as trying to bring back rural Reed amongst their campaign, showing his confidence that he is confident enough that he can commit such an atrocity. And the Jamaica Labour Party administration, of course, will have him resurface. We have seen where we have the Trelawney MP, Marissa Dalrymple, who had blatantly corrupted herself while in office and being the Speaker of the House. And while her case is ongoing. But you know, people, Jlpism will have to define itself. We have seen that Jlpism is now resurfacing the corruption to Jamaican people, asking the Jamaican people to vote for the corruption. Let us move on. Andrew Wheatley has been relieved of his ministerial responsibility after exposure of widespread corruption in the agencies for which he had portfolio responsibility. Now we anxiously await the reports from ongoing investigations into the pressure jam scandal. Jamaican people, under Jlpism, we will never ever get clarity in that. Let me say that categorically clear. At present, it is the Ministry of Health and Wellness, don't let us go there, which is under the microscope. And this by no means exhausts the list of the corrupt practices that have been exposed since the Honest administration has taken office. Take that away as we define Jlpism. Let us take that away. And so then, while we are here to define Jlpism as it relates to actual facts, Joycelyn Williams said, seems the love, the Ministry of Education purse. Yes, they stole the future of our children. Joycelyn, well said, because you're hitting the nail on the head. Now, since we had identified Jlpism, right? Now, George said, Mystic Sensation. That is why most of them don't like Portia, because she sends politicians to prison. And George, let us tell them, the politician, that Portia Simpson draped up, right, and has to flag him, which is Jack Smith. So thank you, George, for that. As we are moving on in terms of the facts to define Jlpism. Remember, we weren't the one who put out the ism out there. It's Andrew as defining Pnpism. And so then we have to tell him what Pnpism is and define Jlpism with facts. Now let us move to let us move to our next clip, because we are getting there.
LP equals corruption.
For 3 years. It's one of two properties that the Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, has spent over $370 million to lease over a 3-year period. One in Greenville, Manchester, and the other, Annotto Bay, St. Mary. At the building in Annotto Bay, a notice on the gate indicates that the branch is closed. Beyond the gate, a note on the wall reads, "Kindly visit Port Maria Buff Bay, or the Port Antonio branch to conduct business. But according to Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis, the building, which is owned by Member of Parliament Norman Dunn, was leased for $700,000 per month on January 25, 2022. The sign at the front assures, working together to serve you even better. But there's been no service, just payout, as at August 31, 2023, a total of $15 million was spent on lease payments. Efforts to get a comment from Mr. Dunn on Wednesday were futile. Now, before being branded as a tax office, the building on Main Street served as the National Commercial Bank NCB and Notabay branch. Then, as part of its digital transformation initiative, NCB closed the branch in July 2020. A Mother's Restaurant is also close by the property. In Greenvale, this was the location rented. TVJ News understands that this red door leads to a two-story building. It was leased from a private company for nearly $360 million over the period. The section of the building in question is along the corridor of Megamart. Access to inside is not possible as the door is locked. PNP Councillor Mario Mitchell has been calling for updates at several meetings in the parish.
It's a major tax hub, it's a major parish in terms of the revenues that the parish council uses, and I'm asking them to make sure that they can actually action this as soon as possible and to get the people's business going. Tax office payers' money have been wasted here for years, on top of years.
On Wednesday, the TAJ issued a release saying both properties were leased in accordance with procurement policies that require a lease to be in place before commencing the process to procure technical service and to renovate. Once the lease is in place, the TAJ says it is liable to make payments. The TAJ says the delay in occupancy is because of the lengthy procurement process and build-out required to make the space suitable for the delivery of services. It adds that the existing Anotabay tax office was closed following the November 3, 2023 5.6 magnitude earthquake. A structural engineer's report said it was unsafe for occupancy. In addition, the TAJ says the procurement of a consultant to manage the project from concept drawing to occupancy at the Mandeville location spanned from November 2020 to October 2023. For the Anotabay location, the timeline on the arrangement for leasing the space and subsequent activity spanned from July 2021 to February 2022. Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
All right. So as we move along, my people, in defining Jlpism, so let me ask the Jamaica Labour Party administration, giving Norman Dunn contract while Norman Dunn being a member of Parliament, right? And where Norman Dunn, as a result of him getting the contract, $700,000 a month, as it relates to the procurement process and policies, and as it relates to fair trade. Did anyone else get the opportunity to bid on that contract? Did anyone else get that opportunity? So then we have to define Jlpism as it relates to nepotism, cronyism, and skullduggery. That Norman Dunn is making $700,000 per month without the building in use. And this is how you treat taxpayers. Andrew Honest, this is the service that you have given to Jamaican people. You have betrayed the Jamaican trust, Jamaican people's trust. That's what you have done. Now, this is what we are defining as Jlpism in terms of your long list of corruption. Your long list of corruption. And so then, of course, we will understand why every single member of parliament pertaining to the Jamaica Labour Party administration would want to defend you as a leader. They will want to defend you because you open the floodgate of corruption. Every single man, they eat a food. So then you are the prime minister not allowing them to eat a food. So then your expectation of them in this time when you have $470 million running through 3 of your entities, right? Quid pro quo, I defend them, so you now defend me. And so then we see the prime minister is practicing what we call quid pro quo, right? I watch your back and you watch mine. I protect you and you protect me. And so then every single member of parliament under the Jamaica Labour Party administration will defend Andrew Holness to death. So don't be surprised as it relates to the rails of justice that Andrew Holness had corrupted. They had sworn allegiance with the devil to fight with him until, if it comes to death, they will not leave his ship. Even though they sworn allegiance to be on Titanic with the Prime Minister. They will make sure that they are there with him. They will make sure that even that the trajectory is moving towards the iceberg, they will not abandon the ship. So Jamaican people, we have to understand the sort of evil that we are dealing with. Spiritual wickedness in high and low places. Because the Prime Minister had corrupted the rails of justice. And so then, I am warning all Jamaicans to make sure that you are preparing, you are ready, right, to go out there, put the X beside the N. So let me say this to you, my people. Don't believe that the evil that we are challenging is normal. No. The road that we trod is not an easy road. And so then we can't take anything for granted. We also have concerns, even although I had spoken to person about the ECJ president. And although we are monitoring him closely, let me say this to him, that we will be using all the means necessary to make sure that we are monitoring this general election. We are going to make sure that we have checks and balance on every single ballot. We know that they are planning, that they are preparing But let me say something to you, Brother Dayton Campbell. Right? We know that you're on the committee. And we know that you will be vigilant. And for other persons who are there, lawyers, be vigilant. Because I'm telling you, you are not wrestling with a normal demons. And we have to name the demons by his name. We have to call the demons by his name. We have to commit what we call a political exorcism. We have to call him Michael Andrew Holness. And when we identify the demons, we can deal with him, and we are going to deal with the demons, Michael Andrew Holness. Now let us play this next clip. PNP movement. Time come. We are preparing. We are treading. We are moving along, and we are strengthening as we go along.
Speaker of the House.
And the government. And by virtue of them being spouses, there is none. That was the point I was making. And her conduct, this is Holness's conduct, has given rise to concerns by not tabling the reports of the Auditor General on a timely basis as they arrive. There are reports which have been, I'm told, reached Parliament from January, which have 2 Auditor General performance audit reports that have not been tabled. By determining that certain reports of the Integrity Commission must be sent to an oversight committee within Parliament, which is dominated by the government side and chaired by the government side, before those reports are tabled and made public. These are issues of grave concern to me, as somebody who believes in the parliamentary system and in democracy, and indeed for many Jamaicans. So this is why I thought it was essential to make this point in my presentation. And the reaction of the Prime Minister to it reinforced my concerns. Furthermore, Mrs. Holness has refused to make public or even share with us as members of Parliament and senators the legal opinion which she claims justifies the position she's taken. If that is the case, then why isn't she sharing it with us? It wasn't given to her in her personal capacity. It was sent because it concerns matters affecting Parliament in a very fundamental way. To deprive the Parliament of the benefit of that legal opinion is itself an egregious act, inconsistent with transparency in the way we conduct our Parliament. What I believe happened was that when the speech was shared in Parliament and the Prime Minister saw the points that were coming after the point I was making, he decided to take this action because he didn't want me to have the opportunity of making those points in Parliament in front of him. And what are those points that I'm referring to? The next point I was going to make was that the illicit 6, which is a matter of grave concern in the country, is another instance where governance in Jamaica is being brought to a low end, where 6 MPs are under investigation for illicit enrichment. And the Prime Minister not only has declined to make public who they are, but has put a gag order on his cabinet forbidding them from talking to the media on any issues relating to the Integrity Commission. And the point I was going to make after that was that the Prime Minister, as head of government, cannot be in a situation where he is not in good standing with the Integrity Commission of the country. He has failed to have his statutory declaration certified. That statutory declaration lists his assets, his liabilities, and his income. And for successive years, the Integrity Commission has not certified and published a summary of his declaration. That is an untenable situation for Jamaica. And I was, in my speech, the next point I was going to make was to say, if I were in his position, I would take away myself and replace myself with somebody else who is not compromised. The Prime Minister knew that was what was coming next. He couldn't face the heat, so he decided to walk out. First time ever in the history of Jamaica, the government ends the budget presentation of the leader of the opposition by pulling out their members and denying the Parliament a quorum so the proceedings couldn't be completed. I'm glad I was able to, on Duke Street, standing on a wall, addressing those who were there, finish my speech right then and there. But it's a shame that I was unable to do so in the Parliament of the land.
The opposition seconded Mrs. Honus's ascension to the Speaker chair.
On September
Why
26th,
raise that issue now, as opposed to when she assumed the chair in September last year?
Two things I would say about that. First of all, when that arose, we were not briefed in advance. We weren't consulted with. I was not in Parliament that day. And the clerk of the House presented the leader of opposition business with the script and said, this is a tradition that the opposition seconds the motion. And he had no opportunity to consult with any of our members, and he decided to follow the tradition that he was told existed. But furthermore, her conduct subsequent to that appointment has reinforced the issue of principle, which gave rise to my concern. Because as I've said, she has adopted a course of action where reports are not being presented and tabled on a timely basis. And a timely basis in this context means as soon as they arrive, they are to be tabled and made public. And she is not doing that. And she has not released the opinion of the Attorney General, which was given to Parliament for the benefit of Parliament, to advise Parliament. She has not released it, which she says justifies her actions, but we don't know because we haven't had an opportunity to see it.
All right, my ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take that away. What I am showing Jamaican people as it relates to what Mark Golding, current leader, is talking about is that the level of corruption that we are dealing with, the principalities of power right in high places. And so then we have to recognize, right, that these persons at the helm of the government who are involved in corruption, they will do their utmost best to cover, right, their wrongdoing, to cover their corruption. And this is exactly what they are doing. And so then, my Jamaican people, don't be deceived by Lucifer. Don't be deceived by the demons that we name tonight. Don't be deceived by Andrew Honus. No matter how he comes out and he articulates, we know that Satan is a liar. We know that Satan is a deceiver. So we are not going to allow Satan to deceive us. Now, let us show you Beelzebub at work. Now, the things. Let us listen. Let us listen to Beelzebub.
When you hear the PNP talk on a bad mouth, somehow it is as if they forgot that they had this government for 18 and a half years. And when they had the government, the programs that they put in were all riddled with corruption. Right now, I spend most of my time trying to correct things that started under them that should have been done well. If you had the country for 18 and a half years, we shouldn't be talking about some of the roads that are still not repaired. We should be talking about some of the water issues that have to be addressed. It's not since 2016 that bad roads started. Most of the people who are complaining about water, it's not since 2016 they never have the water. And people must remember that when I take over the government, I am not dealing with problems from 2016. I am dealing with problems that started in the 90s under the PNP government. I want you to listen to the vote. Up to this day, I still have Operation Pride schemes that I have to deal with, where the people must tell me them get land under Operation Pride, but them not get no light, them not get no road, them not get no water. And biggest thing, them not get no title. And I have to be dealing with it now as Prime Minister. So I have to deal with the deficit created by the PNP, plus deal with the future development of the country. So when I hear them talk, I just shake my head. Because in opposition, they have all the solutions to the problem, but when they're in government, they cannot implement.
Take that away.
I don't even know if we find him.
Take that away, my Jamaican people. You see, when, as he said, that when the PNP is in opposition, you have all the solutions for the problem. Now, Andrew Honest, that's why we are here tonight.
Pure defection.
Yeah, that's why we are here. While you are deflecting, as it relates to your 8 years. But I'm going to straighten you out. I'm going to straighten you out. You don't remember that when you were in opposition, Andrew Honest, you have promised that when you take over the government, that the people who are struggling with high electricity bills, what did you promise? You said you'll be able to bring in the big companies, right? That is going to roll out whatever they roll out, and that will reduce electricity costs. You promised that, right? But today, after 8 years, going 9 years, people are suffering as it relates to JPS high cost. So what you have to say about that, Andrew? Huh? Let me remind you some things. You said that if the people give you a chance to put you at the helm of our politics, people will be able to sleep with their door open. And when the PNP talk about that they can't do much about crime, you said that, of course, you can do much more better as it relates to the crime. And when your administration take over, right, people are going to allow to sleep with their doors and windows open. Let me ask you a question, Andrew Honest, since you are at it. How many people are you telling now to sleep with their door open as it relates to what you had promised? Right? How many people you are telling to sleep with their door and windows open? Right? You remember that you said that? Huh? Now people have to grill everywhere. And even when them grill it, you understand people still have problems. And here you are trying to suppress the crime rate, right? Wanting to tell lies. But let me say something before, because I know you are going to do it. You are going to try to shape a statistics because we have general election next year. And you have to call it by September such date. So you are going to try to shape down the crime to make it go below 1,208, right? Telling lies, right? So we know that you have that lie to come. So let me tell you before you have executed it, because we know that you're planning to execute it. Yes, we have ears in high places. Yes, and we know your strategy in terms of what you're doing. So when we see that comes out, we're not going to be surprised. Right? And so then you are there now going to throughout speaking, right? Micromanaging, right? The police force, doing your micromanagement, taping them for them to speak on your behalf, that you are transforming the force. Because that is where you're going, you know. In all of this, that is where you're going. You understand? Because you want them to say yes. And you want us transforming the force. And he has putting out effort and see here, we reduced crime, and crime has been reduced to 20%, right? That has never happened 24 years ago. But I have shown the statistics where you lie. Yes, we have the statistics. So we know, as it relates to, yes, we know that the demons will always lie because you're a natural demon. People might not understand, right? Yes, you're a demon in the physical and spiritual space. And we know that, right? And don't think that we don't know that. We know that you're a natural demon. Now, let us go to the next clip where, and I want to get into your mind space and psychoanalyze you because we know what you're saying when you say this. So we are going to put it out and let the people hear how you speak. Because we need those words that you have spoken. It seems or it appears as if you're saying that by any means necessary, you're going to stay in power. But we are watching you, Andrew. Yeah, we are watching you. Now, without any delay, let us play this clip. I will not allow. Yes. So let us play this clip. Let us play this clip to educate our people where we are going.
Listen to this one good. That destroyed the entrepreneurial class of this country. When they realize that borrowing was such a sweet thing, that they don't really have to run the economy, all they have to do is keep the interest rate high so that people with money don't bother use it to do anything productive. They take that money and put it under government paper. You remember that? Buy government paper. That's all they used to do. Buy government paper. Now hear me now, watch me. During that period of time, that 18 and a half years of high interest rate and high borrowing, it means that many of you and your parents could not be employed because the money in the country, which should be used for productive things, them just take it and hand it to the government, and then the government is obligated to pay them back high interest rate. So terrible it was that one of their own members, a man of the cloth, a religious man, his conscience couldn't help him. He had to speak the truth. And he said that what Pnpism did was the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in this country. Now tell me, which rich man, which Tapanaris man was the recipient, the beneficiary of the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in this country? You tell me who? You tell me who? I have so much things to say. I will never allow Pnpism to come back in this country.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
You will never allow Pnpism to come back in this country. What Jamaican people don't understand, that beneath that layer of your statement, right, is your hidden agenda as it relates to unleashing your evil. So let me break it down for the people. Beneath that layer of statement is your hidden agenda to unleash evil on the Jamaican people. Let us get that clear. No, Prime Minister Andrew Wallace, you cannot fool us. Remember, you can't fool us. Now let me get in terms of, you know, what you said, right? Speaking about Pnpism. Now we are going to show you the natural facts. Let me read what Jlpism Williams said. The people have control over Jamaica. Andrew Honest, you're a servant of the people. Begging for vote. So shut up and give back what you have taken from the people. And tell why you are in court today. So wonderful, Jlpism. Right? Now let me speak to him as it relates to the lies that he has just told. And this is what I say to you, my people. That Beelzebub will always shape his narrative with lies. And he will deceive you because he's 100% naturally evil. So when he talk about FinSAC, we know that when he talk about the 1995 financial meltdown, we know that Mark Golden did not benefit. We know that we have the history, we have the truth, we have the facts. And he needs to speak the truth. We know that Edward Siaga, who would borrow $30 million. Yeah? So Andrew Wallace, you have not spoken anything about that. But you push Mark Golden in terms of your lie. Your careless lie. You're a deceiver. But yet you fail to speak on the amount that Edward Siaga borrowed and said he didn't remember, like what Dalrymple is now saying using a Edward Siaga 2.0. But that's not the only thing. The Minister of Finance that you have in 2016, Audley Shaw, you don't want to tell Jamaican people that FinSAC bailed him out. Am I lying? We have the recording. Am I lying? But let me ask you a question. What record do you have that Mark Golden benefited from FinSAC? It goes to show you that you're a callous liar. You are demons from hell. You're demons from the pit of hell. And so then when we are dealing with you, we make sure that we have the holy water and we have the cross to wet you. Yes, and present our cross for you to stay back. Because we are dealing with you. You are from the synagogue of Satan. You have deceived the Jamaican people. You have betrayed the trust of the Jamaican people. And so then we have to be here, you understand, to creating the political exorcism, right? To make sure that we free our Jamaican people because you have taken over their souls and their spirit. So we want to free our Jamaican people, right, from your possession. That is what we are doing. Freeing up our Jamaican people. because you have them under such a spell. With your lies, your demons, your deceit, your deceitfulness. No. That's why I have you tonight. And I'm going to deal with you now. So the next clip that I am going to show you now, I am going to sprinkle some holy water on you tonight. So the next clip that I'm going to show you is the holy water clip. And we are going to have the truth exhibit, because we know that the demons hated the truth. And when the truth revealed, the demons melt. So then, let us sprinkle the first holy water on you as it relates to the revelation of the truth tonight. Without any hesitation, let us bring out the gospel on him tonight.
Even down in Jamaica, I'm skipping, they tried in 1976 to organize a military coup to overthrow Michael Manley. In 1976, they supported attempts to assassinate Michael Manley on 3 different occasions. The little man who led Jamaica, who spoke at Savior's Day, was such a threat to our government that they attempted 3 times to assassinate the man in 1976. So later, they found a way to get rid of him through riots in the street over food when they cut off assistance to Jamaica. This is America.
Take it away. Take it away. My Jamaican people, I can't finish the vial of the holy water because we have to keep some more to sprinkle on him later. So I just wet him with a little. Now let us show him the cross and open the Bible on him tonight. So the next clip that I am playing, I am going to take out the cross and I am going to open the Bible. And again, we are going to say to him that the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie in green pastures through democratic socialism. And so then we are going to deal with him tonight. Without any delay, let us give him the cross and open the Bible for him to confess. Jamaica in focus. Let us deal with him tonight.
What? It came off. It says I have trouble playing. Let me read it.
Let us deal with him tonight.
Oh, because I have to bring that.
So,
And what was it? Okay.
when we are here, right? What we are doing tonight, my people, is running the political exorcism, right? Removing the demon spirit of unruliness. And so then, of course, we are freeing up our people to think, to do the right move, to free themselves from evil. And so then here we are going to open, of course, show him the cross and open the Bible tonight. Let us speak the truth to him.
Often overshadowed by political rhetoric, we are here to clarify and celebrate a legacy built over the 18 years under the People's National Party. Despite recent claims by Prime Minister Andrew Holiness, these years were marked by transformative progress that forever changed Jamaica. This vision of social equity began with Michael Manley, whose impactful policies such as the 1974 bauxite levy, which ensured that Jamaica benefited from its natural resources, and the establishment of the National Housing Trust, NHT, in 1976, created pathways for affordable homeownership. His implementation of free education up to the tertiary level made education accessible to thousands of Jamaicans who had previously been unable to afford it. In 1989, the torch was passed to P.J. Patterson, who proudly continued this legacy. His administration marked a period of outstanding achievements in housing, education, healthcare, and infrastructure, reflecting a true sense of accomplishment and progress. Under Patterson's administration, the PNP proudly oversaw a transformative expansion in housing, resulting in an impressive 150,000 houses being built over 18 years up to 2007. Additionally, land ownership was made more accessible to Jamaicans than ever before through groundbreaking programs like Operation Pride and the Emancipation Lands projects, empowering thousands with the security and pride of owning property. In education, 64 schools were built and upgraded, including 17 new basic, primary, and high schools in Western Jamaica. The Ministry of Education made significant investments in early childhood education, and the Chase Fund played a crucial role in supporting repairs and upgrades to early childhood institutions across the island. Highway 2000 and toll road infrastructure. The construction of Highway 2000 and toll road infrastructure greatly improved connectivity across Jamaica. The North-South Highway also enhanced travel efficiency, drastically reducing travel times between major points, which stimulated economic growth and improved the quality of life for many Jamaicans. North Coast Highway from Negril to Port Antonio. This highway, stretching from Negril to Port Antonio, significantly strengthened coastal infrastructure. North-South Coast Highway from St. Anne to St. Catherine. This highway proudly connected communities from St. Anne to St. Catherine, fostering unity and development. Social programs for poverty alleviation. The PNP proudly introduced the Program of Advancement Through Health and Education, PATH, a beacon of hope for vulnerable Jamaicans. PATH has been instrumental in lifting families from poverty, creating a lasting legacy of support that continues to benefit many young Jamaicans today. Through the remarkable Poverty Eradication Program, poverty was impressively reduced to 9% in 2007, down from 30% in 1989. With the liberalization of the motor vehicle import policy, ordinary Jamaicans could now proudly own a vehicle, symbolizing their progress and success. Telecommunications and media expansion. The Spectrum Management Authority's regulation of telecommunications frequencies has been a game changer. The opening of the telecommunications sector heralded a new era, introducing dynamic service providers such as Digicel and making cellular phones accessible to all Jamaicans. This transformative policy not only made cell phones a common sight, but also laid the groundwork for a digitally connected society, empowering young Jamaicans with unprecedented access to technology. The media sector flourished with the establishment of new TV and radio stations and the remarkable growth of the cable industry. Information technology emerged as a cornerstone of economic development, showcasing Jamaica's commitment to innovation and progress. The liberalization of the foreign exchange market further bolstered the economy, reflecting a nation on the rise. Healthcare advancements. With a sense of pride, we celebrate the remarkable progress in healthcare across Jamaica. Hospitals in May Pen, Mandeville, Anato Bay, St. Anne's Bay, Black River, Kingston Public, Falmouth, and Princess Margaret have been built and upgraded, significantly enhancing healthcare access. The establishment of the National Health Fund, NHF, and the Jamaica Drugs for the Elderly program, JDEP, has been a monumental achievement, subsidizing medication costs and ensuring affordable healthcare for thousands, especially our cherished elderly. The creation of regional health authorities has been a significant step forward, enhancing the management of our health system. Under P.J. Patterson's administration, the addition of 50 new ambulances has greatly strengthened our emergency response capabilities. The National Health Fund, NHF, stands as a testament to our commitment, subsidizing medication for chronic illnesses and improving lives. The JDEP program continues to provide vital medication support for our elderly, reflecting our dedication to their well-being. transportation, infrastructure, and environment. The National Solid Waste Authority Management (NSWMA) was proudly established to oversee waste management, ensuring a cleaner and greener Jamaica. The National Works Agency (NWA) was formed to expertly manage public infrastructure, marking a significant milestone in our nation's progress. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company was created to revolutionize public transportation in Kingston, including the impressive development of the Halfway Tree Transport Center, which has streamlined commuting and provided safer transportation. National Environmental and Planning Agency, NEPA. NEPA was established to monitor environmental protection and planning. Tourism, Agriculture, and Resource Management. The PNP proudly established the Tourism Enhancement Fund, driving remarkable growth and development in the sector. With significant investments in hotel infrastructure, including the prestigious Sandals White House and Grand Palladium resorts, and the renowned RIU hotels, Jamaica celebrated record-breaking tourist arrivals. Tourism Product Development Companies, TPD Co., efforts in enriching Jamaica's tourism offerings have been a testament to our success and pride. The Rural Agricultural Development Authority's support for rural farming communities further strengthened our nation's foundation. The Natural Resources Conservation Authority's dedication to environmental conservation showcased our sustainable growth. The establishment of the Office of Utilities Regulations ensured that public utilities met high standards, enhancing quality of life. Education and financial empowerment. With pride, we celebrate the establishment of the ECC, which has significantly bolstered early childhood education. The Financial Services Commission's FSC creation marked a milestone in overseeing non-banking financial institutions. We also implemented the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation to protect depositors by ensuring bank deposits up to 1.2 million Jamaican dollars. The National Housing Development Corporation's efforts have been instrumental in expanding affordable housing, reflecting our commitment to progress. With a sense of pride and accomplishment, the PNP has built and upgraded numerous schools, including Greater Portmore High, Cumberland High, Ascot High, Foga Road High, Green Pond High, Irwin High, Spot Valley High, Troy High, Frome Technical High, Elthamwood High, Orange Bay High, Hopewell High, Bethel Basic, Dunrobin Basic, and Holy Family Primary. As P.J. Patterson's administration came to a close, the torch was passed to Portia Simpson Miller. With the help of Dr. Peter Phillips as finance minister, they embraced this path of progress with optimism and determination. Known for her unwavering dedication to social upliftment and equality, she advanced the foundational work of expanding access to education, healthcare, and housing for all Jamaicans. Under her visionary leadership, these initiatives flourished and remained central priorities. Her commitment to building on Patterson's achievements kept the vision alive and ensured that the policies initiated during the PNP's 18-year tenure continued to positively impact Jamaicans. Let us celebrate that these accomplishments were not just policy points. They were lives improved, communities strengthened, and a nation uplifted. This is the enduring legacy of the People's National Party, a Jamaica built for everyone where progress and optimism continue to thrive. Today, under the dynamic leadership of Mark Golding, our future is in capable hands. With a steadfast focus on inclusivity, equity, and sustainable development, Golding is dedicated to advancing the visionary legacy of leaders like Michael Manley, P.J. Patterson, and Portia Simpson Miller. He is poised to elevate their achievements, ensuring that the PNP's path of progress touches every Jamaican. With Mark Golding's commitment to opportunity and progress, we have a leader who will build on the foundations laid by all our past leaders. Let's move forward with unwavering faith and determination, knowing that our collective efforts will shape a brighter tomorrow.
Okay. Let me sort of smooth in my way in terms of asking these questions that I'm going to ask. Number one, Andrew Holness, your administration, right, is at the helm of our politics for the past 9 years. Have you implemented any social programs in comparison to what the PNP had done in 18 years? And if so, Andrew Holness, we want you to come out and explain it to the Jamaican people. Because we have seen you on the campaign trail, lying, bashing that the PNP had not accomplished nothing for the 18 years, in spite of all what the PNP accomplished, which those are the programs that your administration is using. However, yes, we believe, right, in good governance, and so then we don't have a problem when you are using the People's National Party program. But let me just give you a picture of the true facts. And let me remind you about history. Let me remind you about history. Because where I'm going to come next, right, we are going to show you how the Jamaica Labour Party always handicapped the success of the Jamaican people. Now, so here we are. What we are. Between 2007 and 2011. Remember, Andrew Holness, we just want to have a dialogue tonight of the true facts, the truth. Right? And where we are coming from recorded history, from mainstream media, from the JIS, right, which is a government entity. So let us speak accordingly. So after PJ Patterson, right, had paid off the IMF loan and said, ta-ta to the IMF. Here we are. We had Bruce Golding came in at the helm of our politics. So let us speak, Andrew Holness, as it relates to 2007, right, to 2011, where Bruce Golding, right, forced to resign. We're talking now, we're conversing, Andrew Holness. And I want you to get the best of the best, right, that you need to come and oppose this. Because what you are delivering facts. And so then when Bruce Golding went in, what Bruce Golding had done, Bruce Golding had divested many of Jamaican assets, including Air Jamaica. Many. Bruce Golding, right, had run in trouble as it relates to the IMF. Bruce Golding went back to the IMF, borrowed money from the IMF. And what happened as it relates to what Bruce Golding had done? Bruce Golding failed on the austerity measures. And so then what happened next? Bruce Golding administration was abandoned. The IMF have nothing to do with Jamaica. The IMF done with Jamaica. Jamaica was facing the political abyss, going into the hell of the abyss. So let us remind you, Andrew Holness, when you're talking about, right, 18 years. Let us speak to you now with the facts. And so then Bruce Golding and the entire JLP administration in limbo. Have no money to sustain the country economy. The country in a dilemma. And the corruption index in 2009, Jamaica reached the worst on the corruption index as a result of corruption. The affiliation with the Jamaica Labour Party as it relates to DIDUS feel Bruce Golding's fate. And where the administration of the Jamaica Labour Party used taxpayers' money to provide lawyer for DIDUS. Come on, Andrew Holness. Yes, man, Mystic Sensation is here, and we are teaching you. Because obviously, you really don't know the political history. And so then, that within itself put Bruce Golding in a conundrum, using taxpayers' money to provide defense for DIDUS. And we know how that played out. So then Jamaica now gone to the bottom of the barrel in the entire Caribbean basin. International partners were looking for Jamaica to fail and never rise again. Like, I'm teaching you now. Teaching you, Andrew Holness. Because you need to be taught. Let us get into the history, Andrew. And so then as a result of 2011, what happened? Bruce Golding, who mixed up and caught up, the system forced him to resign. And when she had to resign. And after resignation, Andrew Holness, remember, you took over. You were the Prime Minister in 2011. You were the Prime Minister who has no vision for the country to move the country forward.
I'm saying never know, say Barry is so sweet.
Right? So in 2012, what happened? I'm teaching you the political history. You have lost the election to Portia Simpson. Yes. Portia Simpson, the social warrior, stay strong for Jamaica. And Portia Simpson was victorious in 2012. 2012, what you need to tell Jamaican people the truth, Andrew Holness, it changes Jamaica situation as it relates to saving Jamaica from the economic turmoil. So now remember that Portia Simpson came into power, and what happened? The country has no money. The country economy was in turmoil. So Portia Simpson and Peter Phillips, they have to go on their knees. We have the history now, Andrew Holness. You can't fool us. No matter how you articulate, you and Big Mama, no matter what you say out of your mouth, we know that you're a Beelzebub. We know that you're a deceiver. We have seen where Portia Simpson crawled on her knees. Peter Phillips and Mark Golding, who had to crafted certain political strategies. And remember, where Portia Simpson after went to the United States and spoke to Maxine Walters. Remember now, Andrew, come on, me talk to you and Nigel Clark, who the Brabs, right? who are bragging on Portia Simpson legacy. That's why we know that you're 100% evil. But we are telling the truth tonight. So Portia Simpson, Peter Phillips, and Mark Gordon have to go on their knees, right? And spoke to Maxine Walters to speak to IMF, to change IMF mind towards Jamaica, because IMF had written us off. And so then, Maxine Walters, from a woman to woman, understand the plight of Jamaica, decided that, okay, I am going to speak to the IMF. Maxine Walters had done that. And IMF came and gave us a listening ears. And so then what Portia Simpson had to go through as it relates to serious, stringent austerity measures, wage freeze, at the time the Jamaican people didn't understand. And Jamaica, Portia Simpson have to make those policies to fix the economy that Bruce Colin had crushed, wrecked. The Jamaica Labour Party administration had wrecked. And as a result of that, IMF said, okay, we are going to give some loans to Portia Simpson. And we are going to provide certain austerity measures. And the austerity measures that IMF placed on Jamaica wasn't so much that they believe that Jamaica would have passed. We have Nigel Clark. Let me ask a question. All Jamaica Labour Party political so-called scientists who are listening to me now, let me ask all of you, where was Nigel Clark? Where was he? Wasn't he in the picture? When you're talking about 24 years and your gifts and policies that never happened, never attained before 24 years, you tell me that when you're building a house and that house set on a high and you don't have any step to climb up, how are you going to get into that house without building a step? Well, let me explain the step that Portia Simpson built. Where was Nigel Clark? Where were you, Nigel Clark? Many of the times you get up in Parliament speaking as if your policies, you understand, bring forth a better economy and a vibrant economy to Jamaica. Well, you're absolutely causing chaos to Jamaica. Well, you step out of the way tonight. Let me speak to the people. You step aside, Nigel Clark. Step aside. You and your debt management, we know that you're good on debt management. So you step aside now. Let me speak to the Jamaican people. What Portia Simpson had done is a miracle. It's a miracle for Jamaica because IMF did not expect that Jamaica would have succeeded. We have the history, we have the record. It was a surprise to IMF to know that Portia Simpson had passed 8 consecutive IMF tests. So what the tricky demons come and do? What the evil came and did in his political campaign? Let me remind the evil what the evil said during his political campaign. The evil said, okay, this is Andrew Wallace, the evil. Came and said, okay, you can pass 8 IMF tests, but the test that you need to pass is the people's test. You remember he said that, Andrew? I want to hold you right there because me line you up tonight. You said that Pnpism brags it, that the past 8 consecutive tests, but the test that they needed to pass is the people's test. So let me ask you, June. So this is how you pass the people's test with SSL. $470 million running through 3 of your entities and various accounts. Hold on. Here, Mystic Sensation, stop it right there. We want to slowly break it into the people. No distractions. Let me put you back on the track. And so then, what Portia Simpson had done is to lay a carpet, a foundation of success that the IMF recorded it. The IMF spoke about it. The IMF said, unbelievable that Jamaica had succeeded. Let me ask Nigel Clark, sir, where were you then? Were you in the picture? Were you there? Are persons who brags in and putting what they put, you understand, opposing, talking about 18 years. Let me break it down for you. Nigel Clark, were you there? No. No. This is the reason why we say education is imperatively important. Let me convert that into an adverb and define it. Education is imperatively important. Yeah, I know that I am double talking because imperative means important, but I am stressing on the fact. So all those persons who believe that we are very good in English, let me just mention that. So then let me straighten it up a bit. This is what we are saying. Right? The more golden that Andrew Holness is telling Lion that he had benefited from FinSac. It is the Mark Golding along with Peter Phillips and Portia Simpson who had crafted policies to bring back our economy after Bruce Golding had run it to wreck. Now, if you have any other evidence on Google, you present that to the people. You present that to the people. But we have the evidence to present. And we have the evidence to show the people. And that is what we are doing. And so then, you tell me, where was Nigel Clark when Portia Simpson was building the economy? Where was he? Where was he? I want Andrew Holness to come out and tell the people of Jamaica that when Portia Simpson, right, passing 8 IMF consecutively, where was Nigel Clark? Where was he? I'm going to show you something tonight. And so then we have seen where Portia Simpson had built back this economy, strengthened this economy. Now, Andrew Holness, let me remind you what you did. Remember that before the money had to pass on to Portia Simpson as it relates to IMF loans, you have to have X amount as it relates to surplus. Where did Mama Portia get it from? Mama Portia get it from the NHT. What did you do, being the evil that you are? Your administration criticized her. right? To take the NHT money to put into the budget, to shore up the budget, not the reserve. To take the NHT money to shore up the budget, to put into the budget. You criticize. Now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question now, Andrew. Since your administration criticized that, what have you now had taken the NHT money and do with it? Let me remind you what you have done with it. The first dilemma that you created, you have given your friend DISCAIMER. Not only that you stopped there with your evil, you and Nigel Clark agreed for the NHT money, NIS money, tax money, and all those monies to put into SSL. Now, Jamaican people, may I tell them, say SSL a problem for them, you know. And no easy problem, you know. It is not a normal problem. That's why the government of Jamaica is suppressing that. So if one journalist, if you are dealing with truth and reconciliation, you know you can't deal with the truth because you can't face the truth. You can't face the truth. You can't. Your administration cannot face the truth. So then by any means necessary, you will have to suppress the information out of SSL, and that's the reason why you, cross-carry, have to lift up out of Jamaica. Can't deal with truth. Can't. Because that's what the extreme burden of the truth is too heavy to weigh on your shoulders because of the level, the high level of criminality that took place in SSL. And this is where the book stops. Your administration have to do everything in its power to protect it. And by so doing, we hear phrases like, by any means necessary. So let me ask you a question. Is it now by any means necessary you want to hold on to power to suppress the truth? Well, guess what? We are here and we will be watching you. We know where you stand and we know the demons that follow you. Now, let me just make it clear to Jamaica people. Since Nigel Clark is bragging, right? Because we know that, of course, he's disciplined with the austerity measures. Good debt manager. So let me just break down certain things for Nigel Clark here. All right, without any delay on it, let us play Dr. Led. Dr. Led, anyway you're there, right? I mean, we are listening to me now, Dr. Led. Big up yourself, Dr. Led.
People, I want you to watch this video with an intent to understand. We keep hearing all these talks about the Jamaican economy and how good it is and how it's booming and it's in the best place it has ever been. But let me ask these few questions. How do we have a booming economy with a rapidly declining currency? How do we have a booming economy with such a large trade deficit? How do we have a booming economy when we do not export anything? We are not manufacturing anything. How do we have a booming economy when all we do is consume? We never sell. In order for a GDP to make sense, we must be selling stuff. We must be selling stuff. We are consumers. We are not sellers. We're not providers. So how do you tell me that we have a booming economy when all the elements that are supposed to be combined to create a booming economy are working against us? How do we have a booming economy when salaries in comparison to living expenses are a disgrace? But yet you speak to us as though the Jamaican populace are brainless people, all dunce, people without a mind, people without critical thinking skills. In order for any economy, and this is according to economics, to be successful, we must have a good GDP. Where is the Jamaican GDP? What are we selling? What are we producing? What are we exporting? In case you didn't know, as a Jamaican listening, our greatest provider of revenues outside of the slave plantations is remittances. People in the diaspora that sends money back to Jamaica. That is what is keeping our economy. Most of these people you see dressing up, going to work every day, they are supplementing their income with the remittances that they receive from overseas. Do not think many of these people are actually surviving merely from their income. No. These incomes are bus fares income, taxi fare income, lunch money income. They are supplementing these income with the remittances that families and loved ones overseas send to them. Then, if we're doing so well economically, why is it that the government must expend millions of dollars in the US to combat the rapid decline in the Jamaican currency? Why? You're saving face. When you use all these money to offset the decline in the Jamaican currency, this is just a temporary fix because the decline continues. How do you tell us that we have a good economy when our currency constantly slides downwards? And you act as if we have no brains. My Jamaican people, do not allow the political campaigns to cloud your minds with all these trickery, with all these plots that they have to deceive you. Wake up.
All right. That was Dr. Led. Dr. Led, anywhere you are, big up yourself, because you have spoken the truth. Right? Now let us show and bear the evidence of what we are talking about, the testimony under this Jamaica Labour Party administration. Now, without any delay, let us play the script, right, and show Jamaican people what the Andrew Holness administration is doing, you understand, with the economy that Portia Simpson, Mark Golding, and Peter Phillips had fixed. Let us show it.
Jamaica's economy is on the brink, and the Bank of Jamaica is burning billions to keep the dollar from free falling. But how long can they hold the line before the entire system buckles under the pressure? Hey, patriotic internet friends and family, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we unravel how Jamaica's economy is teetering on the edge as the Bank of Jamaica battles to prop up a weakening currency, burning through Jamaican 52 billion in just 2 weeks, with US 90 million injected last week alone. Remittances drying up, and travel advisories from the US and Canada threatening the nation's lifeline. What does this mean for the future of Jamaica? Stick around as we break down the drama, the numbers, and why this crisis is more than just a blip on the radar. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more juicy updates on Jamaica's economy. Welcome all patriotic Jamaicans. The movement continues. Make we get into it now. Let's kick it off. a crumbling currency, and a nation's plight. What's going on with Jamaica's dollar? And why is the Bank of Jamaica burning through billions just to keep it afloat? Let's dive into this unfolding crisis. Jamaica's currency is in a free fall, and the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, is scrambling. Over the past 2 weeks, they've pumped a staggering Jamaican $52 billion into the foreign exchange market. But here's the kicker. Even with a heroic injection of US 90 million just last week, the Jamaican dollar continues its dance with disaster, approaching the US $160 mark. If only the Jamaican dollar had the same stamina as Usain Bolt. But wait, it gets worse. Remittances, a lifeline for many Jamaicans, are dropping faster than a stone in a pond, while travel advisories from the United States and Canada sounds like ominous sirens, warning tourists to avoid the crime-plagued island. And these are no small-time warnings. These are from two of Jamaica's biggest tourism sources. Can Jamaica withstand the storm, or is this just the beginning of more turbulence? Holding the line at all costs. Jamaica's reserves may boast a solid US $5 billion, giving the BOJ some ammunition to fight off the currency's slide. But here's the inconvenient truth. This can't go on forever. The country's US $2 billion annual oil bill and relentless import dependency aren't helping. Between January and May 2024 alone, Jamaica spent US $3 billion on imports. And in case you were wondering, last year's trade deficit, a jaw-dropping US $5.75 billion. It's like filling a leaky bucket with water and wondering why it's still empty. The BOJ has managed to control inflation. Kudos there, despite high interest rates. But what's the trade-off? A slow.
All right. Now, as we all have seen it, people, that Jamaica economy is in dire strait. No two way about that. And in spite of that, right, the Jamaica economy has been further battered as it relates to Andrew Holness administration taking 200 and 300% raise. Where the economy, right, the truth be told, cannot sustain that. Because the economy itself is not producing as much, the truth be told. And so then that 200 and 300% raise, and they have no conscience. The truth be told is that the economy just cannot sustain that. But an uncaring government don't care. Andrew Holness don't care. He doesn't care that, of course, they are enjoying 200 and 300% raise, and the civil workers who are working hard, right, and study, right, as it relates to their qualification, right, they are not getting any benefit. And who are getting the benefit are the politicians, right, where we see nepotism and cronyism taking place. Now, to show you, right, as it relates to the double down of the Prime Minister, continue on his line and his trickery, the Prime Minister have no sympathy or empathy of the Jamaican people. Without any delay, let us get into this clip. Politics is about making it right. All right, let us get into that. Let us hear what the Prime Minister has to say as it relates to his politics.
Is this one down here? Instagram.
Right.
Title beside it. That's why.
Let us hear what is the Prime Minister is speaking about as it relates to his politics.
For houses in the $13 and $14 million range that a lot of people who are working in hotel and BPO and hairdresser and mechanic can afford those houses. So I want you to know, you never just come out here to jump up and down and say, Matthew, 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 and so on, so on, so on. Politics is more than gimmicks. It's more than fun. When you leave here and go back home and you face your children and say, Mommy, where you go to politics meeting for? Where you here? Where you get out of it? You should be able to tell them that your Prime Minister addressed you on a substantive issue that is going to have an impact on the quality of life that you lead, because that is what politics is about. Politics is about changing your life for the better. So when you come and stand up in a meeting late night and hang out a bus, you shouldn't hang out on a bus, but walk up and down with me all day. Yes, the fun and the drinking and the dancing, and I see some girls in some tight up something and all kind of thing. All of the carnival atmosphere of politics is good. But at the end of it, politics is about how to make your life better. And you have come here, and those who are not part of the Jamaica Labour Party but listening, you are also a part of the politics. And therefore, you being here and listening and understanding what this platform represents helps to coalesce a political movement towards something that is going to make your life better. So I know in the back of all of your minds here is this issue of the cost of living. And now the government, we are looking for houses in the $13 and $14 million range that a lot of people who are working in hotel and BPO and hairdresser and mechanic can afford those houses.
Take it away.
So I want you to know, you never just come out here to jump up and down and say, Matthew, Matthew, Matthew.
No, this is the, how disingenuous the Prime Minister is as it relates to his presentation. And so then here the Prime Minister is saying that a lot of hotel workers, right, can afford NHT house. Jamaica, we all know that the Prime Minister is lying. Many hotel workers today, as we see them on social media and on mainstream media, right, having problems. And that is the reason why they are out there protesting, because they are not getting any money. And here's the Prime Minister try to come now and tell Jamaica that, okay, don't believe what you have seen those hotel workers protesting about. Because the hotel workers, of course, can afford an NHT home. People, these are the callous lies, and this is one of the reasons why you understand people are drifting away from Andrew Holness. Because we know, as it relates to many of the people, right, who are working for hotels, they are not getting any money. They are not getting any money. And this is one of the reasons why the people who work in the hotel, majority of them now are taking it to the streets. And here's the Prime Minister. Here is the Prime Minister telling us that everything is okay. Hotel workers are all right. They are well taken care of. They can afford NHT house. How many people who are working in the hotel, and I'm speaking as it relates to the masses of people who are working in the hotel, how much of them can afford to purchase a house from NHT that value $13 million? Tell me, Jamaica. Let us talk. And this is what we talk about as it relates to Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness will look you in the face and lie. So while we witness as it relates to the problems unfolding with these hotel workers, here is Andrew Holness spinning the narrative. Spinning the narrative. But let us proceed as it relates to the next clip. Wisdom speaker. Let us speak the truth as it relates to. Hold on before you play that clip. When we talk about the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right, taking 200 and 300% raise, not having the sympathy and the empathy towards the Jamaican people, knowing very well that the economy is not vibrant to carry that payload, but yet they have no conscience. They have no sympathy for taxpayers. None whatsoever. Now we all witness that the Prime Minister tried to justify the 200 and 300% raise that he had given to politicians. And he said that if politicians get better pay, they will give better performance. We all hear that, right? Yeah, we all heard that. And so then this is what the Prime Minister known for, you understand, to pretty up. Right? As we talk about non-performance, we have seen how, the healthcare system being dilapidated. No one is getting service. But yet the Prime Minister said, don't believe in that reality. So the Prime Minister tried to create an alternative reality around the situation. The Prime Minister is telling us, don't believe, right, that United States is telling the truth, that United States issue a travel advisor, warning their people, right, to make sure that they are equipped, you understand, with medical apparatus before going to Jamaica, because Jamaica healthcare system is a failure. And in spite of that, the Prime Minister still comes out, Tufton still comes out and says, don't believe these things. These things are all lies. These things are all exaggerated. Don't listen to them on social media. The healthcare system is doing fine, right? Even though people are reporting, right, in several instances. And so then the Jamaica Labour Party administration still want to sell a narrative to the people that the people should not deal with the reality, right? But the people must believe in the alternate truth. Now, let us listen, right, to this clip that I'm going to display as it relates to what Andrew Holness said, that if you pay politician 200 and 300%, you will get better performance. So let us listen to hear if these people are applauding, right, Andrew Holness' own staff, right, as it relates to better performance, or they are cursing him out that there is no performance as it relates to after him getting 200 and 300% raise. Listen to this, my Jamaican people.
This a PNP government, and I know back me back for politics, but look on it, see it, my people, look there. A good concrete wall, could there? A beer bush and blood clot. Watch the prosperity. Where the prosperity there in the Eastern Center, Mass. Could there? See it there? And this one, the bush and the right in the town, Eastern, in Eastern Center, Mass. In my town, this. You know, see it? You know, see them blood clot politicians want go out a man place and say them a do work. All the councillors we are get too much money for do them thing. Them not focus on them thing, but them a focus on to build up them pocket. And poor people suffer and yet still St. Thomas people must say prosperity. Where the blood clot prosperity there? Who come from Eastern St. Thomas? This a Golden Grove me there now. So tell me something now. You know, sound are wicked on the worthless. Look on it, see there? And this are the concrete wall. See the concrete wall there? This is our PNP government gay. PNP government put this in for we, and the Labour right government them can't even maintain it. On no go here, man, I move on a blood clot.
Now, so then we are presenting the truth and the facts. Forgive me for the those expletives. But as what he said, that the PNP put in the drains, but the JLP administration failed to even maintain it. But let us go further, people. We are talking about the Jamaica Labour Party administration. Let us go further. Let's go. Let us go further and show you how well the Jamaica Labour Party administration is performing after getting 200 and 300% raise.
And that's why the JC can move right now. Because when you look on the road, JC not the long that they look over all along. Let's not look all along. Look on the straight road. Look at what done. All JC are behave like that. Man, we go one side, man. I think time move now, man.
Over the years in a power, and I don't see what he is doing to Northeast West, Northwest St. Elizabeth. So he must go in, can expire, so he must go make a younger set come and take his seat. The last election, I don't vote for Ochi. So the next election, next year, then say run, I will never vote if he no come out. We get rid of Ochi.
Them time has come, you know. The fool the people them has enough. And the people them make up their mind and you say higher authority need to come on the ground and come know what go on.
And that's why the JC can move right now. Because when you look on the road, JC not the long that they look over all along.
Now, Jamaican people, what I want you to be a witness with, you know, these are Jamaica Labour Party supporters, right, who are describing their own administration and admitting that their administration is a failure. Now remember what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said that increasing the politician pay to 200 and 300%, you will have better performance, right? This is what he's saying, right? And here we are witnessing that their own supporters are saying that they are not getting any representation at all. This is an indictment on the Jamaica Labour Party. An indictment on the Jamaican Labour Party. Now, we want to show a difference now between Pnpism and Jlpism. And when PNP at the helm, right, in terms of the task being done. And what you see here, right, that remember, PNP is not the incumbent government. And yet, right, they are executing. Without any delay, let us show, right, some of the things that being achieved by the People's National Party.
The market has been neglected for many years. And I, having toured it a few years ago and seen the sorry state of the market, I was anxious to see improvements. And so when Mayor Swaby became the mayor of the KSAMC, I reached out to him and told him that, he needs to come and have a look at it, which he did. And he agreed with me that it was really a priority matter, right in the heart of Crossroads, and that he jumped on the case with alacrity. and has managed to find the resources to do a substantial improvement. The roadway on which you are standing, for example, was in deplorable condition. I mean, it was muddy, it was full of craters and so on. It was a very bad condition, especially when it was wet. The bathroom facilities were appalling. Garbage collection was subpar and so on. He has tackled all of those critical areas. And he's also brought improvements inside the meat section, for example, where they have provided stainless steel tops to some of the vendors' stalls, which is the best in class kind of practice required by the public health authorities, and doing some paintwork on the exterior as well to make it look better. So I encourage all customers in the corporate area, check out Crossroads Market and support the vendors. It's a new day and it's a new vibe, and the vendors are feeling very upbeat because the conditions in which they're working now are much more to their liking and much more in keeping with what they deserve. And there are many, many markets in Jamaica that need this kind of attention. And it's a priority because this is where business is conducted, and especially for the small business community and people who shop from them. So I wanted to say kudos to our new mayor. He's making a huge difference. And of course, I must big up the councillor for this particular region.
Good speech.
Newland, who worked closely with us, well supported by her colleague, neighbor,
Mr. Grant, a long time, man.
So, for us here in South St. Andrew, we're very happy, and I thank the mayor for the work he has done early in his tenure, first 100 days project, and we're seeing the results. Thank you.
All right, my Jamaican people. What I want to speak to you all as it relates to certain development, right, that is taking place as it relates to Gillette owners. Now we know that the IC, the Integrity Commission investigators, right, had investigated Andrew Owners 2021 statutory declaration. But we have seen that the House Speaker, Gillette Owners, seems to know taking up certain things in her feelings. And this is one of the reasons why Gillette Owners should not have been the House Speaker. Right? Because at the face of it, it really doesn't look good. The House Speaker husband is under investigation. And as such, Gillette Owners is the House Speaker. Shouldn't have been. Right? And for the obvious reason, in terms of what I'm going to go through, to show you, right, the behavior of Gillette Owners as a result of the Integrity Commissioner investigators investigating, right, her husband, and trying to, I would say, deny, right, certain instructions from the Integrity Commission. I am going to show you people what I'm talking about. Without any delay, let us get into this and let us explain as it relates to why. This is the reason why we said that Gillette Owners should never be in the House Speaker. Now look at this, people. I see shame and disappointed with those. Just look at this. Really told from now because
okay, so this is from the Jamaica Gleaner and it's dated November 13, 2024. And the title is IC Chairman Disappointed with House Speaker over letter about Warmington's conduct. Speaking on Radio Jamaica's Balancing Just.
Where the date?
I did say the date, November 13, 2024.
Okay.
Let me just start. Chairman of the Integrity Commission, retired Justice Seymour Panton, has expressed disappointment that Speaker of the House of Representatives Juliet Holness has failed to acknowledge receipt of a letter from the anti-corruption body raising concern about the conduct of a parliamentarian. Speaking on Radio Jamaica's Balancing Justice program, hosted by attorney at law Andre Earl, King's Counsel, on Tuesday night, Panton said the commission wrote to the speaker earlier this year about an ethical matter in respect of the behavior of a parliamentarian. He told the program's host that to date the speaker has not acknowledged receipt of the letter, although the missive was delivered to her. This has been a big disappointment to us, the IC chairman said. I mentioned it in Parliament the other day, but the Parliament hasn't done anything about that. Instead, some elements in the Parliament picked on some other areas of my presentation, but no attention has been given to that.
Okay, take it away, Yoni. Now,
okay.
Now here it is, people. Right? That the Integrity Commission investigators are doing the people's business. Right? Holding politicians accountable. But clearly, that the Speaker of the House, where her husband is the center focus of an investigation, her husband is the subject of an investigation regarding the Integrity Commission as it relates to illicit enrichment. And so then, the IC, right, sent a letter to the Speaker of the House for the Speaker to act accordingly and act professionally. But the Speaker now decide that, okay, she's in malice. No, people, this is not funny, you know. This is not funny at all. The Speaker now actually in malice. Right? Because the Speaker of the House vexed that the Integrity Commission investigators are investigating her husband. So then the IC now just asking her to execute her duty on a professional basis, and she's acting in terms of totally disregarding, right, what the IC sent her. Now, I want to look on it, people. I want to look on it, people. Right? Now, David Powell said too much conflict of interest. Now, look at that, people. Right? Now, the IC acting professionally has a complaint about a particular parliamentarian as it relates to his conduct. But the Speaker of the House pay no regards to it. Pay no regard. So then, I mean, this is the way how the business of the day been conducting as it relates to Juliet Holness and Andrew Holness believe that the Parliament is their personal bedroom, their personal house. Right? And so then they believe that, okay, they are not to be investigated. They are not to be interrogated, right? In spite of, as it relates to them, cannot explain, right, illicit enrichment, their source of funds. And so then this is how now the Speaker of the House is going to operate, right? Malice is going to be exhibited, you understand, by the Speaker of the House, right? So the Speaker of the House is not acting professionally. But guess what, people? We don't surprise of that coming from Juliet Holness. Are we to be surprised? No. Let me show you another clip while we are not to be surprised. Look at this. Look at this, people. We are getting it. We are getting here. Now let us go to YouTube. Now just look at the slackness. Look at the slackness. This is the reason why Juliet Holness should never be the Speaker of the House. Look at this.
St. Catherine South Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson and Public Administration and Appropriations Committee PAAC Chairman Michael Phillips were among those who are condemning House Speaker Juliet Holness' decision to cancel the sittings of several parliamentary committees.
Now, the lawmakers are arguing that she lacks the authority to unilaterally cancel committee meetings, but at least one former speaker is coming to her defense. More in this report.
Are acting out of your powers. The accusation being leveled against Speaker of the House Juliet Holness by two opposition lawmakers. Holness is under fire for cancelling meetings of some committees of Parliament. Leading the charge are Fitz Jackson and Michael Phillips, who registered their discontent with the cancellation of the meetings, which they said was done without consulting with committee chairs and members. Phillips, speaking with CVM News, the Member of Parliament for Northwestern Manchester, argued that the Speaker has veered outside of her remit provided by the standing orders.
The instructions given by the Speaker herself that all other committees should be cancelled for a time to be specified. By the standing orders, it doesn't give the Speaker of the House the permission or any oversight over the committee. As chairman of a committee, we usually communicate with the leader of government business.
Former Speaker of the House and current Justice Minister Delroy Chuck defended the Speaker's actions as appropriate due to the demanding needs of members of Parliament to respond to their constituencies post-Beryl.
We have just gone through Hurricane Beryl, which devastated many constituencies, and MPs were required to be in their constituencies to assist constituents to deal with the many challenges that occur after a hurricane has passed. So even whether or not it is in the standing orders, whether or not it is appropriate for the Speaker to instruct chairmen of committees, it seems most appropriate that the Speaker should encourage chairmen of committees to postpone the meetings during the course of this week to allow MPs to really respond to the many demands and urgencies within your constituencies.
Mrs. Holness has been the subject of controversy ever since her ascendancy to the speakership in 2023. She has been criticized for what some members of the opposition describe as delayed tactics for critical reports from accountability bodies in Parliament. CVM tried to contact Mrs. Holness for a response, but was unsuccessful in its attempts. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
No, my Jamaican people. No, honestly say the Jamaican House, the Parliament, the House of the people. Honestly what now them take the good Parliament House and turn it in. So now the Parliament, right? The House of Parliament now becomes the House of the Honest. Yes, it's the honest's house. That they can do what they have, as they have a mind, right? And they can cancel meeting, right? As they have a mind to do so, breaching the standing order. And here you have Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck, who is protecting, you understand, persons who commit rape. You understand that they need not to be known. Because we believe that, okay, if you publicize, right, the rape registry, right, you are going to have a double jeopardy with these people. Now, in a first world democratic country like the United States of America, when you have a rapist, right, or child molester or whatever, right? United States, right? Some states, right? Besides that, because people need to know them. So then we don't expect the Minister of Injustice, you understand, to stay any better, more than double down with Juliet Holness? Do you expect better, any better people? No. This is Delroy Chuck, the Minister of Injustice, right? Will always be defending, you understand, Andrew Holness-led administration in the art of corruption. This is what we have. So now our parliament, you understand, is in turmoil, taken over by the Holnesses, who believe now that the parliament is their personal house. And, you know, it's the Holnesses' businesses as opposed to the people's business. So the Holness can decide that, look, hey, we don't have no committee meeting as they have a like, right? In spite of the standing orders. They can breach the standing orders. And here is Juliet Holness pointing out breaches of the standing orders to other people. Only just look for the corruption of people. That when other people breach the standing order, Juliet Holness is talking about, no, it is not in the standing order. But now when she breaches standing order, Delroy Chuck is saying he doesn't care whether it wants to be in the standing order. I want to see what I go on in Jamaica, people. I want to see the double standard that is taking place in Jamaica. I want to see the rampant corruption that is taking place in Jamaica. Eh? The Speaker of the House, right, in a court battle as it relates to land tussle and all of them something there, and you have the Speaker of the House. You understand? We are husband under investigation. Now, what is going on in Parliament? Yeah? Right now, you understand, Juliet Holness is in court. How that look, me people? Juliet Holness in court and her husband also in court. Because her husband put his application, right, for judiciary review. So here we are, right? Two persons at the helm of our politics, right? We have never seen this in the history of Jamaica kind of people, or in the history of the Caribbean. You know. Can someone tell me? Because might be I am missing it, I am losing it on it. Can someone tell me that in the history of Jamaica or the Caribbean basin, where something like this ever happened? Husband and wife take over the parliament, and both husband and wife, you understand, under investigation. Want to talk to me, people? I don't know if husband and wife, you understand, under the microscope, right, of the Integrity Commission investigation. Right? Want to tell me if you ever see this before. Right? Unprecedented. Right? And this is one of the reasons why we are talking about heritage Jamaican people that you need to look and learn. Where these people now is fighting also not to have, you understand, the other illicit 7 being released and being identified, because we know that Andrew Holness, you understand, is the number 1. Right? Andrew Holness is the number 1. So now that we know that Andrew Holness is number 1, right? And so then the other illicit 7 that is who now they are protecting, and they're asking the Jamaican people, said, don't pay it no mind. You understand? Regardless of what you're hearing, is not true. Just go out there in the poll and you vote for us. The illicit 8. Right? We don't know if Delroy Chuck, right, is a part of the illicit 8, is among the illicit 8. We don't know if Warmington is among the illicit 8. We don't know if Juliet Holness is amongst the illicit 8. And they are telling the Jamaican people, don't pay any attention to that. Right? That is not important. What you need to pay attention to the lies that we are selling, the AI projects that we are lying about, and then you just go to the poll and vote for us. Don't pay attention to SSL, right? Don't worry about, you understand, $470 million. You understand that? You understand I am utilizing through 3, right, of my shell company. Now remember, you know, people, what we are talking about, you know, these shell company, you know, right? It is not like they're employing people, you know, right? Now, when you look at the mess, people, let me talk about the mess now. When you look at the mess, these shell company don't have nobody employed. No one employed. So I am wondering that somebody, some accountants or some economists need to tell me how these 3 entities were able to make, you understand, return on investment. Right? They have no employee. They are shell companies. But you just see $470 million, right? Running through various accounts. You understand? Ringing through these 3 entities: Estate Bridge, Positive Media, right, and Imperium. So now you tell me, people, remember what we pointed out, you know, as it relates to the man to Andrew Warren's statutory declaration, you know. Remember, so we pointed out as it relates to his 2020 statutory declaration that of the Prime Minister, 170 million total in assets. Now remember, so we know when the Prime Minister came into the politics, you know. The Prime Minister came into the politics from 1997. People want to go back and look at the history, you know. And I ask you, you know, I tell you, you know, this is something that we study. You understand? Me know it out of my brain. The Prime Minister came into the politics 1997. Remember that when the Prime Minister, prior to the Prime Minister came into the politics, right? The Prime Minister left university in 1994, in 1995, right? And when he left the university, he owed student loan. Come on, talk to people. Make a reason tonight. He owed student loan, right? He worked with Edward Siaga for 2 years, 1995 and 96, right into a charity foundation. We don't pay him no money. And then here's the Prime Minister, went, you understand, and Big Mama program. You understand, where Fitz Edley was the host. And where he told Fitz Edley that he came in with $47 million in the politics where the Prime Minister did it from. Make a reason, people. Where the Prime Minister got it from. $47 million that he took in the politics. Now the Prime Minister was working at charity for 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. And you're going to tell me now, out of the 2 years, the Prime Minister, you understand, amassed $47 million. But better yet now, people, from 1997 to 2020, as it relates to the statutory declaration, 24 years, the Prime Minister took, you understand, to amass $172 million as it relates to his 2020 statutory declaration. But better than that now, people, look at the big excitement now as it relates to the Integrity Commission investigation. You understand? Investigating as it relates to his 2021 statutory declaration. Where we are seeing now where the Prime Minister from 2020, the period 2020, right, to 2023, 3 years, the Prime Minister amassed more than $470 million. Come to Jamaica, people, come make it make sense now. So all who want to talk, all who want to defend Andrew Wellness, you understand? Come make that make sense to me. Because I'm either from food, you know. You understand? And me I try to figure out that all the Prime Minister take 24 years from between the period 1997 to 2020 to amass, you understand, 170 million as it relates to in 2020 statutory declaration. But yet the Prime Minister used another 3 years. Now I want to know what kind of formula the Prime Minister used. Because right now, you know, I want some of the formula there. Many Jamaican people want the formula there. Many business Many business people, you understand, who have been doing business for years. No, one thing I have to give the Prime Minister this, I have to give the Prime Minister this, so the Prime Minister more brilliant than Mark Golding. Yes, me not lie out, the Prime Minister more brilliant than Mark Golding, because Mark Golding in a business, you understand, from what you kill Philip, and Mark Golding not amass the amount of money what the Prime Minister amass. Not only that, you know, Mark Golding have more than one businesses, you know. But the Prime Minister now have none. So the man will have multiple business. You understand? Don't have the amount of money. But the Prime Minister, so we have to give the Prime Minister kudos.
Mark will go employ people and pay them.
You understand? Mark has a legitimate business, you know, and a shell company, you know. Mark company them. You understand? Daring, Bunting and Golding employ people, you know. And pay people, you know. And you won't let shell company no employ nobody, you know. Papa Jesus when you tell me what I go on here. You understand me? I say, no, we have seen no way the Prime Minister no work magic. So that, not only that, Andrew Holness is the Prime Minister or is the Chief Justice of Jamaica. The Prime Minister also create a portfolio we don't know about. Because the Prime Minister also is a magician. Yes, people, the Prime Minister is a magician. And the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, is better than one of the best magicians in the world. No, look at now, people. The Prime Minister, unprecedentedly, right, take out account in NCB and $0. Hey, look here, people. Hey, no, sir. No, sir. No, the Prime Minister thing turn up. The Prime Minister thing turn up. Me have to rate the Prime Minister for that. The Prime Minister take out account $0 in a NCB. How the Prime Minister get to do that? Eh? How the Prime Minister get to work the magic here? Not only that, we see a greater magic perform. A greater magic perform here, SSL, $147,000 from out of SSL. You understand? I mean, just appear in the Prime Minister account when Prime Minister take out for $0. Now, if you want to tell me, say no magic go on. Now you can come tell me, people. No more want to understand these things. Because I need that from fool, you know. I don't understand what I go on. Right? And we see all of these things are happening. Right? The Prime Minister in the art of the corruption. And although the Prime Minister in the art of the corruption, the Prime Minister's wife, you understand, take over the Speaker of the House. Yeah? And so now, malicing are gone. Malicing are happening. You understand? Because the Prime Minister being investigated. But I know the people's house. Parliament is no longer the people's house. Parliament now is Andrew Holness' house. Look at that, the people. Because that can't be the people's house. Under no circumstances, that can be the people's house. Right? What we see a go on is madness. Oh, you explain that. Right? Oh, you explain that. Now, Jamaican people, I am going to touch somebody here tonight. I mean, know some of my people them not like when I talk about them sort of destruction, you know. But my people want to forgive me tonight. Because I address him. I'm going to tell you who me attack. You understand? Me attack Vegas.
That video is not going to play.
Why?
Remember, it's not coming up.
It's not coming up?
Taken off.
Jesus, please. You don't have it?
Aaron, I told you and I showed you that it will not come up. It seems as if we took it down.
Oh, you know something go brush him, man, so him take it down. Okay. All right, and get you tonight. Okay. Him get where tonight. Him get where tonight. All right. Him knows me I go brush him, so him take down back the video. Yeah, him take down back the video. Right? So now let me just go back now upon Andrew Wallace, because I don't speak where I don't have evidence to show. But like when I talk about something where people can see. You understand? Say that you say. And I was going to address it tonight, but obviously you take down back the video because you know me I come at you. You understand? So you don't want you don't want me to expose you like that. So you take down the video. You take down the video, Mr. Vegas. So all right, so me love you. Me love you. So those people, let us consider all of this as it relates to Juliet Holness, being the Speaker of the House, having a case in court as it relates to both land, and her husband, you understand, sits at the head of the landing agency. Said it's a Dally House. You understand? The Parliament now turn Dally House. The Parliament is a Dally House. Now, people, I have few more clips that I want to explain to you because, you know, I like to explain these clips before we get into it, because I want to make sure that my people, you understand, stay in tune. Now, people, I'm going to travel over 80 a bit, right? Just stay with me. There's a fundamental reason why I travel over 80. Because I want to show people as it relates to what we call crony capitalism. And I am taking the moment, you understand, to teach this lesson. So I will go over 80 a bit. So I want you to stay with me now. I am going to show as it relates to the history. I see the Prime Minister, Andrew Wallace, who definitely went and involved in Haiti business without studying the history of Haiti, right? I want to teach the Prime Minister a lesson tonight.
You run because you get money from the US to do it.
And so then, because of course, yes, the United States, you understand, facilitate you with few dollars. You willing to sell out your race of people. And so then I want to touch a spotlight on my Asian brothers and sisters, right? And of course, show the facts of life about Haiti. Now, without any delay, people, let us get into this message here. Jamaica Bina, Prime Minister says. So we are going to show the background as it relates to Haiti. Read it for me.
All right, so it's from the Jamaica Gleaner, and it's entitled "Foreign Minister Says Bahamian Military Personnel in Haiti Are Free to Leave the Country," and it's dated November 13th, 2024. Nassau, Bahamas, CMC Foreign Affairs Minister for the Bahamas, Fred Mitchell, says members of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and nationals in Haiti can leave the French-speaking CARICOM country at any time without government approval should they feel unsafe.
All right, take that away. Don't go further. Take that away.
Okay.
Right? So the Bahamian, right, Prime Minister is telling their people that if you feel that your life in threat, leave Haiti. Right? Our Jamaican Prime Minister don't care. You understand? He sent our people in harm's way. But let me give the Prime Minister some reflection of the truth. Right? Jocelyn Williams said it is about time the IC named the 8 or 7 illicit enrichers. I agree with you, Joyce. Let us delve into this. Right? YouTube.
Okay.
Let us delve into this and teach the people something.
Ransom. That's the name of a major series of articles published by the New York Times detailing how Haiti became one of the poorest countries in the world, while bankers in France and the United States made a fortune. The story dates back to the early 19th century. In 1804, the enslaved people of Haiti rose up, leading a rebellion against French colonial rule, founding the world's first Black republic. Under military threat from France in 1825, Haiti agreed to pay reparations to France for lost so-called property, including enslaved people that French owners lost in the rebellion. France threatened to invade Haiti and reimpose slavery if Haiti did not agree to a staggering amount in reparations, 150 million francs, 30 times Haiti's annual revenue. Haiti began taking out loans from French banks, leading to an economic crisis that continues through to this day. The New York Times estimates Haiti paid the equivalent of what's now $560 million to France over the next 7 decades. The true economic cost to Haiti is estimated to be an astounding $115 billion. And that only tells a part of the story. In 1880, a French bank established Haiti's first national bank, essentially putting France in control of Haiti's treasury. That bank, Crédit Industriel et Commercial, used some of its massive profits to help finance the Eiffel Tower. The bank's current owner has just launched an investigation into its dealings with Haiti and its role in what's called the ecosystem of colonialism, that bank, CIC. The Time series also looks at the U.S. military occupation of Haiti that lasted from 1915 to 1934. A key backer of the U.S. occupation was the National City Bank of New York, the predecessor of Citibank. Former U.S. diplomat Patrick Gaspard, who now heads the Center for American Progress, has called on Citigroup to pay reparations to Haiti. Gaspard wrote on Twitter, "A silent scream has been in throats for decades about the role U.S. played in depleting Haiti. No one would listen. Finally, some truths," he said. Over the years, Haitian demands for reparations have been repeatedly shut down, sometimes with force. France's former ambassador to Haiti, Thierry Boucard, admitted to the New York Times that France and the United States effectively orchestrated the 2004 coup that ousted Haiti's first democratically elected president, Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Boucard said one benefit of the coup was that it ended Aristide's campaign demanding France pay financial reparations to Haiti. To talk more about Haiti and the devastating impact of colonialism in this massive series in the New York Times, we're joined by 2 guests. Weston Lee Alsanat is a Haitian-American professor at Fordham University, where he teaches courses on the Atlantic.
Take that away. So I am playing that for Andrew Holness to understand the history that surrounds Haiti. And let me further state this now, Andrew. Right? That when it comes to Europe, Europeans that deal with colonization right across the globe, don't you ever believe that they have an interest to develop, right, the Black nation as it relates to Caribbean people and people on the African continent. No. I am going to show you another clip where, in spite of Haiti in its suffrage, that Haiti was also used by the Clintons, where the Clintons have collected billions in donations. And that did not serve the Haitian people. No love. So when Andrew Holness collected the money that he collected and decided to be a part of who is oppressing the Haitian people, for God, he knows well. This goes to show Jamaican people that this man is a monster. And Andrew Holness is ready to sell us out for 30 pieces of silver. Am I lying? I'm showing you the history. Now let us look. If you believe that Europe have any love. Now let us look at one of the recent happenings in terms of what the Clintons had done to the Haitians. Let us show the evidence without any delay. Look at this. Let us teach them tonight. Now we have seen where Andrew Holness, where the couple Haitians had come to Jamaica seeking survival, and Andrew Holness administration send them back. Send them back. So let us look on this.
Dress selection, what really happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Questrade. Here's an investment strategy that you might not know about called multi-leg options. And here are 3 reasons to consider them. First, multi-leg option strategies can lower your initial trading costs. Second, they can increase your chances of success with a lower break-even cost. And third, they give you the flexibility to respond to market movement like a pro. Questrade is one of the only brokers in Canada that offers this powerful tool. Want to learn more about multi-leg options? Head to questrade.com.
It's not even an option.
Okay.
Hillary says she's going to be president. We say President Hillary. President Hillary. President Hillary. A thief for president. A thief for president. A liar for president. A liar for president. A crook for president. A liar for president.
Okay. Now let us go into reading why the Asian people upset. Take that away on it. Why the Asian people upset with the Clintons. And this is what Donald Trump also spoken about the Clintons. Donald Trump has said the work of Bill and Hillary Clinton in Haiti was a disgrace. I want you to hear that, people. What really happened? The question asks. The Clinton family, they are crooks. They are thieves. They are liars, says Asian activist Dawood Andre. He has been leading protests outside the Clinton Foundation headquarters in Manhattan and Hillary's Clinton presidential campaign based in Brooklyn for the last 2 years. He said protesters from a small activist group, the Committee to Mobilize Against Dictatorship in Haiti, will continue to level their allegations so far, all unproven if the Democratic candidate wins the White House. Let us show you what happened. Now, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump raised the matter in the third and final presidential debate when he told Mistress Clinton, I was at Little Haiti the other day in Florida, and I want to tell you, they hate the Clintons because what happened in Haiti with the Clintons Foundation is a disgrace, and which is true. Donald Trump is not telling any lie there. Mrs. Clinton retorted that she was proud of the foundation's work and pointed out her rival's namesake charity had spent money on a life-size portrait of himself. The Clintons' history with the world's first Black Republic dates back to their 1975 honeymoon when they met a voodoo priest and visited a hotel where Ernest Hemingway once stayed. Yes. But the long and short of the story, let me just get to the meat of the matter, people, instead of reading through all of that. I want to get through the meat of the matter here. Let me get through the meat of the matter. Now, this is where we are at. Right? As it relates to the Clinton Foundation. Right? Its mandate was not renewed by the Haitian Parliament in 2011. Right? Okay, so this has to do with the earthquake. Right? Okay. So let us look at the replicated mistakes. Mrs. Clinton was a Secretary of State and Mr. Clinton was UN Special Envoy to Haiti when the January 2010 earthquake struck, killing an estimated 220,000 people. Some 13.3 billion, in pound 10.9 billion, was pledged by international donors for Haiti's recovery. People, I want you to listen up. I want you to listen to this as it relates to what the Clintons have done. Mr. Clinton was appointed co-chairman of the Interim Haiti Recovery Commission, along with Haitian Prime Minister Jean-Max Bellerive. But the IRC found itself under fire as frustration mounted at the slow pace of the recovery. Its mandate was not renewed by the Haitian Parliament in 2011, and this is why the mandate has not been renewed. Look at this, people. Now, where the Haiti quake funding went, that is the question being asked. January 2010 to June 2012. Now, people, look at the total. Here, you have 9.4 billion total international funding. Let us look how the Clinton use it. Remember, all of this money was collected to help Haiti as a result of the earthquake, what killed several Haitians. And the Clintons used their foundation to collect $9.4 billion total international funding. Here's the evidence. No. Let us look at the breakdown. 3 billion from individuals and companies, right? And 6.4 billion from bilateral and multilateral donors. You know, look at how people outspend. Try showing you something, you know. 89.8% of it, which is 5.4 billion, went to non-Asian organizations. When you see what the Clinton did, now you're looking at people. All of the money was collected on behalf of the Asian. And what the Clinton Foundation done, 89.8%, right, of that money, which is 5.4 billion, went to non-Asian organization. Now look over to on the right. 9.6%, which is 580 million, went to Asian government. Only 9.6 million, you know. And here it is now. 580 million. I read that out already.
It's 9.6 million.
No, 9.6% of that. No, 0.6%. Right? 36.2 million went to Asian organization. So when you look at that, people, take that away. This is the viciousness, right? the viciousness that are done to the Asian people. And let us ask a question. These are the very same people asking our government to put our people in harm's way after what they had done to our Asian brothers and sisters. The ultimate wickedness. And where Andrew Holness playing a part in assisting them to do that. Just look at that. That the earthquake that killed several Asians, and where the Clinton Foundation, right, was used as an aid to get money, right, as a result of their conditions, and where the Clinton Foundation collected over $9.6 billion. And you have seen what happened. 80 of the $9.6 billion, 80 only get 9.6% of that. Where's the love, people? Where is the love? So let us tell them that we have to be smart, right, in terms of running our economy and fight against corruption. That's why it is important for us, right, to fight against Andrew Holness' administration of corruption and dark evil. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I came to the end right tonight, and unfortunately we are not going to have Jeopardy tonight because right we are extremely tired and we have to push out early in the morning. But we want to say big thanks to you all, right, to pass through Mystic Sensation, right, as always, that you are giving us the strength, right, to prevail. And so, right,
not you.
And so then, of course, we're saying a big thanks for you to pass through tonight. Right, and as usual, you know that Tuesday we will be back. Thursday on the Titans, and the cycle continues until we see the back of the Jamaica Labour Party administration. All right. So I want to say big thanks to you all. All right, Honey, you have anything to say?
Okay. Again, guys, sorry for not having Jeopardy, as Baron said. We're extremely tired because between 6 o'clock yesterday morning until now, I only have 4 hours sleep, and Baron is having a touch of the flu, so we're trying just to keep our best foot forward. So sorry about that, guys, but next week definitely we'll be having Jeopardy. So just stay with us for this week. Thanks. Yeah, Louis saying thanks, Mystic Sensation, for your dedication, and you're very welcome. And thank you guys for your continued support and endorsement. We really appreciate it. And all the new subscribers, welcome, and thank you so much for joining the movement. Monica is saying great presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica.
Monica. All right, guys. So Oliver North and Ronald Reagan's administration are the same kind of okay. All right, so guys, I'm just gonna say good night and safe travel on the gravel, and remember to tune into all the other platforms that are in speaking in one voice with the same message for a better and brighter future for all Jamaicans. All right, so take care, guys, until Tuesday. God bless. One love.
All right.